Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Structures are fortified. Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The lion tamer's share.
There are rules about that kind of thing where I come from.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Soldier's fortune.
Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
By my fire.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Weak things break.
scanning. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the Dire. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The wages of fear.
Radiant are scanning.
Regeneration.
Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
What need have I
The
for
lesson
this?
for you is never try.
Dire are scanning.
This thing is solid gold.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Precious bounty.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Kishi kishi meow meow, kishi 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 meow meow, kishi kishi meow meow meow.
There are rules about that kind of thing where I come from.
Of fear.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Soldier's fortune.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire are scanning.
Double damage.
We see you.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks is falling. Radiant's middle barracks is falling. Radiant's top barracks has fallen. The Dire now have mega creeps. Dire victory.
are back in, as I've spent the entire break I had discussing the items. Yeah, for those who don't know, or I did technically get put in a position where he threw the game, but it wasn't his fault. He literally was playing at an e-cafe, and some guy choked him from behind like this in the middle of an official Dota game. I am not making that up. Cyberscore, Grid, a few more good, reliable sites have articles out on it. You can Google Dota 2 Ivan incident or Dota 2 Ivan beat up, something like that, and you will find those articles. But also there has been popular demand for a kitty cam. Everybody has been complaining, show cat on stream. I can show the cat on stream, even though she is not pleased at this. But where would we be without this little bastard? And now she runs off, see? Because she's been meowing and yelling at me to stop casting and to give her attention instead. She does not like me working early. When I really do like working early. It's such a nice way of waking up. And yeah, I'm glad that I can actually shed some light on the actual 322 stuff, because I'm tired of EPL being accused of stuff. We always make legitimate investigations. We always make sure to file legitimate reports. I will admit that not all police forces and governments and stuff take them seriously. They just go oh, but it's video games, haha, and don't do their due diligence. But as far as our new partner goes, Grid, I can't give them enough love. I can't give them enough shoutouts. They are extremely professional, extremely methodical when it comes to investigating stuff, and also when it comes to Dota analytics. So they have added a huge amount of quality assurance to the EPL. Shoutouts to Grid for, making this Masters possible. And with that, let's jump into game number 2 of Nemiga against Inner Circle, because I've talked about it at the start of game number 1, in the draft still, right? We've seen it at TI with the Juggernaut as well, where people went for a whole bunch of different... Oh, look, my cat is back. She's oh, more attention. Will you stop casting now if I look really cute and come walking up all sad no, I'm sorry. Cat food costs money. I will give you some treats later, okay? Okay. Seems like she approves of that, at least enough to chill with me again. But yeah, as for Nemiga, the last game, it was the same stuff we saw at the TI, right? People try to make that Juggernaut work, and Juggernaut is in such a funky spot where he has the highest damage output ever, but also just doesn't work if his ultimate gets intercepted, right? His ultimate is straight up a drawback in the current patch, because you can't cancel it. To make Dota more relevant, make the Juggernaut ultimate cancelable, that you press R again and you end it early, so you don't just get stun locked by a Ghost Scepter for 2 or 3 seconds, right? Though Nemiga, with the Klings, it kind of felt like the same thing, just a failure to execute. Where on paper you have more damage, you have better late game scaling, but in reality, every single team fight, Wind Ranger blinked forward and got a perfect focus fire in on him. Every single team fight was blink, stun, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. As Inner Circle are considering their next pick here. Also, no chat, I do not have my Telegram things hearable. It may be production, because I'm working via production, so anything that I pull up, you can't hear. And that's really, really nice, actually, because I've been Googling live stats. I've been looking up you know, TI meta stats, stuff like that. Because obviously every team is gonna adapt to what they've seen at TI. You cannot ignore the TI meta in this awkward period right after the biggest tournament in all of Dota. So, yeah. Here in Nemiga, they are going with easy to execute heroes. I'm not sure if they have just revealed all 3 of their cores or not. And Inner Circle are kind of sitting here and thinking the same thing. Is this all 3 of the cores or is it not? Earth Spirit has been looking really strong, has been really popular. I have not been enjoying playing against this hero in my pubs. Because Magnetize, it feels so weak. It feels like, oh, it's just damage over time. We'll heal through it, guys. We each buy an extra Fairy Fire. We buy an early mechanism on one of our heroes. We'll just heal through it, right? You never do. It always feels like you can just heal through it, like you can kill the enemy before the Magnetize does too much work, because you see it happen in these official games, right? We may see it happen here to Inner Circle. We definitely see it happen from time to time at Tier 1 and Tier 2. Nemiga, as for them, though, they got a mighty cheeky draft, and they're definitely going to reveal a support here. The question is just which one, like their position 5 or their position 4. I'm being covered in cat hairs back and forth. Because I brushed her this morning, and now my cat did that thing where they roll on the carpet, right? And like all the hairs came loose again, and I'm being covered in them. But that's actually not a support pick, I don't think. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a tight hunter support or they're just gonna last pick a support. Cat, give me your answer. Mau 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 is not an answer. What do you make of this draft vendetta? What do you make of this draft vendetta? Also, yes, my cat is named Vendetta. Because cats are, like, one of the few animals with enough social intelligence to have a capability for revenge, right? And I think that's cool as hell. But also... Oh, attention. Yes, yes. But also this Tidehunter pick is worth addressing, because I don't think Tidehunter is particularly good this patch. His ultimate is great. But I'm not sure Tidehunter the hero himself, because of how susceptible he is to the break, because of how dependent he is on both armor and percentage-based magic resistance. I kind of have my doubts about. I feel like if you pick a Tidehunter, it has to be as a last pick, and it has to be as a safe last pick. And neither's the case here. Tiny Band out, though. Clockwork is gonna be the last pick. Okay. I can get behind the Clockwork, I guess. Weird draft from Nemiga, but really, really good to benefit from the Keeper of the Light. I kind of feel like Nemiga, they are trying to draft in a post-TI state. Like, they're not even trying to draft that TI meta. They're not even trying to draft what these Tier 1 teams did at TI. They're trying to advance and go one level beyond what they drafted at TI. Because this is such a, like, 2015 draft. Oh, oops, all team fighters, right? Up against Inner Circle, though, who with the Winter Wyvern have a great answer to watching one hero get caught out of position. And now a Necrophos last pick for Rubicon. I know he loves his Necrophos. I know Necrophos 1 has been kind of popular. But he is gonna have to be really good at actually sustaining not just the healing aspect, and, you know, getting enough last hits / kills to always stay above half health so you don't get bursted with all of the magical bursts. But a lot more importantly, that momentum. Because if you fall below the top 2 or top 3 in net worth as a Necrophos this game, I don't think you're coming back. He is a really good counter to the Clockwork and the Tidehunter, though. So I do see why they go for this last pick. As my mouse hand is being licked by a little bastard. But yeah, Nemiga, I don't really think they have as much of an outdraft as they had the last game. Like, I think this time around Nemiga ever so slightly got outdrafted, but only slightly, because as long as you deal with the Necrophos, it's fine, right? Like, this entire draft from Inner Circle, it's just end Necrophos and you're gonna be good. If Necrophos gets online, if Necrophos gets to that point where you cannot kill him anymore, the game is just gonna be over. That's why people play Necrophos as one position after all. Because momentum is so important. And I do love that somebody in chat called out the Slark. I would have loved Slark as the last pick for Inner Circle as well. He's one of my all-time favorite heroes. But the thing is, Necrophos, it's one of Rubicon's best heroes. And Rubicon's Slark, it's not bad, but I don't think it's one of his favorite heroes, right? So if you can give your carry player the hero that he spammed 1,000 times versus the hero that he's played a few hundred times, you always gotta go with the one that he spammed 1,000 times. Because I do think Slark would have way better late game insurance if this game is gonna result in scaling, if this is gonna be one of those really long pain in the ass games where Inner Circle are just gonna keep pushing in for 50 minutes without really giving Nemiga a break. That's when they can lose just because of the Necrophos falling off, and they would not lose just because of the Slark falling off.
Seconds to battle.
The game is gonna start, but the supports on both sides actually are more focused on putting down vision. Fuck fighting for the runes. Who needs a first blood? Make sure you get that vision to win you the mid lane for another 5 minutes. I think that's definitely the correct play, and it's one of those plays that nobody ever does in pubs. Because sure, in pubs you do see, even low level pubs nowadays, the ward war for the mid lane, but a little double fake out where both supports make sure to place a ward that wins one of the lanes. You don't really have that every day anymore in pubs, right? Because in pubs it's usually gonna result in at least one, if not both of the wards getting de-warded instead. Whereas in officials, you got both teams committing to giving their mid or their carry a significant advantage. And here it's a trade where the Radiant have better vision on the mid lane, and Ember Spirit is gonna have a really good time against, dual race under the circumstances, because the circumstances are that Ember Spirit gets countered by Earth Spirit just from existing, up until level 6. So Young G having a really good ward, being able to kind of see where the Earth Spirit is at to take less harass every time he has to last it, is very, very helpful. Meanwhile though, the Dire ward is been put down, so you can make sure that if Rubicon gets ganked, you are always going to be able to call out the gank rotation. You're always going to be able to see that one on the map really free. SF having a wonderful time over in the bottom lane, whereas if only Ember Spirit could say the same. Young G, he is catching up in last hits. He's gonna have 9 last hits now, so only a couple behind the Earth Spirit, only a bit of XP behind the Earth Spirit. Again, that ward is helping so much. The early support brawl on the mid lane kind of paying dividends here for Nemiga as mid laner. Covus 9 not having too much fun on the Keeper of the Light, but his horse is fast. Run, my swift steed, run, as Covus 9 gets out of there. Norma also gonna get out of there, but those cogs are just so annoying. No mana for him, free farm for the Shadow Fiend. Such a timeless combo, Clockwork plus Shadow Fiend has always been popular, but for a variety of reasons. Also, chat is saying, if Inner Circle want to win this, Earth Spirit has to carry late game. No, chat. No, that's not how it works. I get that Earthspirit has some pretty good scaling into the late game, but with a draft like this, where you're 80% magical damage, that's not how it works. With a draft like this, there cannot be a late game. Because even if Earthspirit has a super good late game, and Necrophos has like 20 ultimate stacks and an Aghanim Scepter for the maximum amount of scaling you can get out of that Necrophos, it's still all gonna be in the form of magical damage. And I know Pipe has not been favorable, people have not been building it as much, but 3 BKBs and a Heart of Tarask on the Tidehunter will also go a really long way against a draft like this. So yeah, as far as Inner Circle are concerned, there cannot be a late game. End this game at like 30, 40 at the utmost minutes, and just make sure that that late game where SF and Ember Spirit are both going to be massive freaking threats, it's not going to be there. And I mean, SF also kind of falls off in late game, because if he gets stun locked post BKV, it's just so rough for him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But Ember scales. Like, with Ember you can always tell whether he's gonna have a game or not, just depending on his position in the gold net worth. So as long as Ember Spirit is holding himself in a good position of the gold net worth, everything is gonna be fine. Whereas Hotoke, getting ran down with the Necrophos, who just needs a bit more damage, will press one more heal, and as the skull flies, Hotoke, run, my Tidehunter, run! First blood under the tier 2 tower. He tried to just regen up as much as he could while running away from that skull, but so much time and farm wasted for the Tide, and he still gets first blooded. That is really rough, and that's exactly the kind of early game tempo and momentum that Necrophos is built around, right? Because for Necrophos it's quintessential to make the game fast, to play in-your-face Dota like that, which he is doing a very, very good job of. Ariel with the Cox, getting a good go onto 2, decent bit of burst from the Shadow Fiend, and Norma just kind of getting knocked around.
Dire's courier has been killed.
As Ariel,
Bottom tower is under attack.
very deep, but look at how little care in the world he has, surrounded by 3 people. He's gonna teleport out, and to whoever was asking, why do people still play Clockwork, feels like such a weak hero? This is why. Clockwork is not a weak hero. He is a hero that does lots of small things, but he does all of them well, right? Like he gives a bit of vision with the rocket flare, but not a lot. He tanks a bit with the armor, but not a lot. He harasses a bit with the battery assault, but not a lot. He stuns people with the hookshot a bit, but not a lot. So he does a bit of everything. And if you know how to play Clockwork, if you have mastered that hero, you are such an asset to the team that people don't realize, because they don't take into account the vision at all, especially like low MMR players. They don't think about, hey, having infinite free wards generates like 300 to 500 GPM for the team. Because that's wards that you don't have to buy, that you can just rocket flare for instead.
Radiant's middle tower is
Bune, meanwhile, survives a lot of burst damage to the face, manages to retreat under the tier 1 tower to kind of stay safe and just be chill about it. Whereas Young G, still not chill for him. Earth Spirit finally being outfarmed by the Ember Spirit, but Ember needs to be careful not to make too many mistakes. Tidehunter, though, already starts by taking massive stacks. And with the Shadow Fiend ultimate, Bune trying to hold his own. Dunk, as out comes more damage. That's gonna be Bune taken down. I think Necrophos even got a stack, and I will check after we see if Ariel can do anything about this, because I think he's certainly deaf, but look at the space he's creating, even putting down a little branch. But I think that told him that there was an observer there. I think that should confirm, okay, they got vision there. Either way, Rubicon with that twin gate rotation has made so much space.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
While Bune making sure to stay safe and watch out.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower
As that's
is under
gonna be
attack.
Rubicon in a world of hurt once again, but he does have that last heal remaining. Not sure if it's gonna be enough against Keeper of the Light with the Illuminate though, because Shadow Fiend really wants this kill. And finally,
Radiant structures are
Nemiga get themselves a bit of revenge, taking the most valuable kill across the map. While that is gonna be the Pangolier jumped on, and Norma, with one more right click from the Ember Spirit, is gonna take him down. Young G trying to run down the Dark Widow managing to get away for now, but there is still a Remnant, there is still a Slayer Fist Searing Chain combo. One more right click, Fernance goes down. Nemiga, they have found an opening, they have realized, hey, there is an opportunity, there is a bit of space for us to play the game, to actually have a good time enjoying this DOTA 2, as the youth likes to call it. Necrophos has to use just a defensive Reaper Scythe, but I guess he's gonna live with a TP committed and a really good defensive Reaper Scythe to kind of keep him alive.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Never refuse gold.
On both bottom and mid, the pressures are mounting, but I think Nemiga, like, they just had such a juicy little time frame where they could do whatever the hell they want, that now we are back to kind of a back and forth poke and pull dynamic. And that's gonna be an opening up onto Furnace by the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit being healed for so much. That was like 1.5 times Young G's total health pool, but he's still alive. Finally getting shut down by Dual Race with the Rolling Boulder. As now Cove is 9 on the Keeper of the Light. Needs to be careful. Is being healed up by the Clockwork, but boom, massive race. Boom, another massive race. Dual Race. He's named after those Shadow Razes, but instead he is getting Shadow Raised down. Shadow Fiend, the one person kind of keeping a lid on the team fight, keeping the kills from boiling over. But Clockwork, he still wants to burn a little bit of mana, maybe set up a kill onto Norma. I don't think he can though, as Norma perfectly shield crashes away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dual Race. The moment that he spies Young G in any of these lanes, he's just gonna come in and be like, "Hello, brother, I am made out of rock." And forcing, in this case, the Ember Spirit to just completely back off and reset. Fernance with the hookshot, with one raise, with two raises. I think that one connected did, as down goes Fernance to Bune. Ember Spirit with the Winter Wyvern ultimate, locked in a bit of a predicament, but SF gladly tanks for him, having that Mask of Madness to turn around and still chase after Kidaro. Ariel, can he set his team up for an opening? He won't even need to with Slayer Fist and Searing Chains.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, you can see that Nemiga, they just went all in on their comfort picks. Having this aggressive in-your-face Dota Like, it's unusual for Nemiga to even have better late game scaling, but playing an SF and an Ember Spirit and just committing both of them into every single team fight that you can fight. That sounds like Nemiga, and it has been paying off for them really well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Also, chat is asking, like, why didn't they pick Timbersaw on the side of Inner Circle? But keep in mind, by the time you knew that you had to pick Timbersaw, it was only the last pick remaining. Inner Circle, they would have had to play a hard carry Timbersaw or a hard carry Pangolier if they wanted to pick a Timbersaw here, so they didn't really have a good option. I don't think they missed how good it would have been, though. As Keeper of the Night trying to teleport away, Keeper gets himself locked into some brambles, and Cove 9. Heal or no heal, if it's himself that gets targeted, he cannot out-heal all of that damage.
Dire are scanning.
Speedy rune of haste. Snared in fire.
Kiraro. No, he doesn't even get the ward. Tidehunter, eat the fishy! My man, there's a fish there. Gotta pick up those fish.
Radiant's middle tower.
Always triggering, because Satoke, he has one fish so far. That second one on the high ground there can really help out. Necrophos, the next target, getting gone on by Young G as he activates the Flame Guard, but nope, says the Widow, nope, says the Earth Spirit. Tidehunter ultimate comes out to try and save Young G, but Young G with Rubicon having the ultimate, getting him a second stack. And this amazing Radiance timing coming in to really punish Nemiga. Nemiga, they have been dominating the game for the first 15 minutes, but they are gonna lose a lot of that space once again. Just two Necrophos having such a good time. Ooh, that's awkward. When you place a ward and you realize, oh, there's an enemy right next to me, hi. I love that moment. I also think it's interesting, Necrophos, on the one hand, he's acknowledging the magical damage and the really strong spells on the side of Nemiga. On the other hand, he's sacrificing some of his late game for it by just going for a Lotus Orb.
Coin for me.
And we're kind of stuck at a back and forth state as far as the draft goes.
Radiant are scanning.
As Hotoke wants to go onto Kidaro. But the next Reaper Scythe ultimate is there, so even just slowing the game down for a moment gives Inner Circle back all of the big ultimates that they need for a team fight. Because between the Rolling Thunder and the Reaper Scythe, there's definitely always gonna be one target just kind of getting isolated, getting ultimated in the corner.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And chat is asking about the win rate. It's not like 90% Nemiga favored. According to the Gaben graph, it's 70%. 70-30 in favor of Nemiga, which I can get behind. That feels accurate, because a single team fight can turn this game back around in Inner Circle's favor. But they definitely need to find that instant kill onto somebody with the Reaper Scythe combo, and they're gonna try to make it the Tidehunter to prevent the Ravage from coming out at all. Hotoke gets healed up. Why are they not dropping the Reaper Scythe Rubicon? Rubicon waiting for the time to do just that. Okay. Okay, I guess he had absolute faith in the Winter Wyvern. I'm not sure if I would have that level of trust in my teammates, but thanks to the perfect Winter Wyvern ultimate, it works out.
Dire's bottom
I would have
tower
just
is
immediately
under
Reapered the
attack.
Tidehunter there once you know
Radiant
for certain that he's
structures are
dead.
fortified.
But I guess beautiful Winter Wyvern ultimate, 2 kills for the price of 1, making sure to get the
Radiant's
Ember
middle
Spirit.
tower is falling.
Risking it all for the bigger, greedier kill and getting rewarded for it. I'll check the win rate. I'm gonna give it a second to adjust, but I am inclined as well as casting with production, which is really comfortable. 52 to 48 in favor of Inner Circle again.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Told you
attack.
guys, 1 team fight. And now we're gonna see another attempt at a pick-off onto Fern's maybe. Depending on if Dark Willow oversteps or not. But nah. She's just gonna go back. Top is gonna get pushed in instead.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
Necrophos
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
killed
top
off
tower
with
is
aerial
under attack.
bursting. Hidaro.
I see your liver and light.
I see your liver and light. I love the Keeper of the Light. That was such a clutch play as well, making sure that Necrophos doesn't get the ultimate out. But I gotta love how, you know, both teams initiate, focus one target to make sure that target doesn't get to cast their really powerful ultimate. And both sides have gotten away with that. First we see the Ravage cancelled and Tidehunter not being able to press that. Then we see the Winter Wyvern being unable to ultimate there. But now Nemiga are gonna try to turn that into a Tormentor. Out comes a hook shot to make sure that they will get Ariel, and with Ariel dead they will still get the Tormentor, so I guess Nemiga sacrificing Ariel really consciously is gonna guarantee the Aghanim shard for him, and it's a must-have item for the Clockwork, so I guess that was planned more or less. Good of Inner Circle to go for the contest at all. Because, again, in a circle, they're slowly running out of tempo if the game keeps going like this. Yeah, they're not losing, but they're not winning, and going into the late game while you're not winning until there is good answers for the Necrophos is gonna make things very harsh. Young G is gonna have his BKB up and running, which is gonna make it a lot easier to enter the next team fight against Necrophos and Winter Wyvern, though the Winter Wyvern ultimates are still the biggest issue. Like, okay, great, BKB helps a lot against Magnetize, helps a lot against the Earth Spirit being annoying. But other than that, it seems like things are being held for now. And we are once again back to that quiet farming stage, which has been re-emerging throughout the game, but also it never really lasts long. That's one thing that I've already learned. Whenever one team wants to farm, the other one also wants to farm. Either one is going to be like, okay guys, now seems like a good moment for a smoke gang, let's go. And opportunities like that will end up presenting themselves here, I'm certain of it. As that's gonna be the catch onto Necrophos. Necrophos knocked back with the Cox, but is gonna be fine. Just activate the Ghost Shroud and walk it off like it's nothing. Tidehunter trying to get a go on the Dark Widow, but neither him nor the Clockwork can really get a good setup going. As Earth Spirit gets a good go onto the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend hit with that beautifully timed Reaper Scythe, and no way he even got the stack. The beautiful off-green stack on it. As Clockwork may or may not get a return kill out of that, he will onto the Winter Wyvern, but not for free. Winter Wyvern says +1, -1 as she makes the Tidehunter hit his own body. And Tidehunter, of course, he does not get fishies from killing his own teammates, which would be really hilarious. Because Slark did for a while, and I do miss that time where you could play Slark into Winter Wyvern, intentionally walk into every Winter Wyvern ultimate so you right-click to death your own support, your own teammates, just to get extra permanent agility that you're taking away from your own teammates, and then just like tell your team, hey guys, buy some more edgy items, please. Peak way to get yourself reported, and it is kind of anti-mate behavior, but you know.
What have we here?
It can make for a really comically hard amount of snowball on heroes like the Slark. As for the win rate, it is favoring Inner Circle again, strangely enough. Simply because Necrophos is getting closer and closer to that point where he becomes really hard to kill. As that's gonna be the Tidehunter going for a Ravage setup onto Norma. Norma locked into the Cold Embrace, so at least he's gonna live, but that means no Cold Embrace left for the Winter Wyvern in the backlines. Is the Rolling Thunder gonna be enough to make up for it? It's not looking like it, but Pangolier may at least get himself away. BKB activation now from the Shadow Fiend, making him impossible to go on the moment the BKB ends. Earthspirit will be on top of him, but is that gonna be enough for Necrophos to finish the job? He came close, but they don't have vision under the enemy tier 2 tower. Patoke can still frontline, mostly because they gotta prevent this Roshan from happening. And Inner Circle can just be given this whole area for free. Vernon's taking lots and lots of damage, and he is gonna take out, while Rubicon is trying to get Ember Spirit. No Reaper Scythe stack, but that's fine as long as Young G dies and he is the one to get the kill. Just look at all of that regen. Shadow Fiend is definitely gonna fall for that. Tidehunter, Keeper of the Light, able to get out. Nemiga, they are good at reducing their losses here, but they did trade the carry and the mid laner for a support and the off laner. And that was such a good little Rolling Thunder turnaround there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
2k gold lead for the side of Inner Circle.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Nemiga though, like, I stand by what I said about them having better late game, but in order to have better late game, you need to be able to kill the Necrophos. You're gonna require like a nullifier and some lockdown for him, and a lot of damage on the SF, because Necrophos is already going for Shiva's Guard, while Clockwork is getting hunted for a sport, and with the Pangolier just dealing so much damage. That's gonna be Ariel, sliced into thin, thin ribbons. Shadow Fiend, Granite once again has a BKB, but will that do much good? I do not think so, because there's the Wind Wyvern ultimate to cancel it out. And Necrophos comes in, says thank you for the stack. At this point, Rubicon should really be considering the Aghanim Scepter pickup. He is going for a heart next. Because Necrophos, he's got 11 health and mana regen just from the ultimate kills. Roshan. Getting once again set up on it this time around. I think the Aegis is going to be given to Rubicon unless there can be a good inset from Nemiga, but Nemiga going in here without their hard carry, without the main source of damage, it's just going to make things that little bit more difficult.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Roshan has
Ooh, so close to the perfect steal, but there is 2 people in the way. Very good try from Ariel. Like, if he had vision there, if he could have seen that there was 2 people instead of 1 person in the way, I think he wouldn't, you know, wouldn't have gotten his hookshot intercepted and prevented from going in like he did. Young G with the BKB. Remnant out and keeping himself alive. Necrophos leashed up with the anchor, healing out in an AoE. But they did force the Lotus out a little bit early, which makes Rubicon's life so much harder, because Rubicon, he really would have loved to turn around a little bit later there. Because there was a kill in it for the Necrophos if he had. But also better to take no risks, because for 3 minutes you still benefit from the second dive, right?
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under Radiant's attack. Bottom tower has fallen.
Clockwork doing his best to hold out against the creep wave.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This was really disappointing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Fernance, he has the perfect voice line. This was really disappointing. I was very disappointed in myself there. And because of the voice line, they may not see this beautiful smoke rotation from behind into the Shadow Fiend coming.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Bune jumped, but dual race, even with the rolling boulder, not quite able to keep the SF locked down. SF instead, with the BKB trying to teleport away, makes it on out of there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Inner circle. They're looking for pressure. They're looking for an opening. They keep grouped up in a really good kind of blob over on the mid lane, trying to collapse it all onto one group.
Dire are scanning.
As that's gonna be the Pangolier. Getting a TP to keep himself alive from the Necrophos once again. They may be finding that aggression that they were looking for, but everybody's gonna go back from the triangle and instead reinitiate over on the bottom lane. where young G is man fighting it up with the BKB, realizes there's 3 there and has to be careful. As Keeper of the Light, with the Ethereal keeping himself alive, but taking so much extra damage from the Necrophos. Well, Rubicon just goes back to Kashi, hitting the tier 2 tower. Inner Circle, get their Aegis reclaimed in just a couple of seconds though. As that's gonna be Kidaro, losing a lot of his mana to the Cox, but Necrophos just chilling next to him saying, nah fam, I got you, just stay here for the heals, and that's exactly what Kidaro's gonna be doing. Ember Spirit Remnants in, but you either gotta man fight Rubicon or completely ignore this Necro and Necro. See what I mean with that point where you just can't kill him? Every time that they do something that actually does damage, he's like, nah Lotus, nah heal.
Under attack.
I really hope we get a game number 3 out of this, but it seems unlikely unless Necrophos dies in some massive way.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Necro making sure to push the top tier 2. And Nemiga, they are one of the strongest teams in the EPL, but I feel like their drafting today has been very avant-garde. I wouldn't even say they're throwing, because there's always a very clear, a very obvious win condition. But in a circle both times, they immediately realized the enemy's win condition and played around it, right? Like, just straight up say, oh, you want to be aggressive, you want to make sure Necrophos doesn't come online, we're going to play 4 Protect 1 Necro now.
Put a cork in it.
Two people smoke up as Inner Circle. If they can find a good Winter Wyvern ultimate, it can be a really devastating, really clean teamfight initiation. Not quite the Winter Wyvern ultimate they are looking for, but definitely one, probably 2 pickups. Hatoke goes down, Clockwork flying out of there with all the damage over time in the world on him, but he does manage to get himself back to the fountain with just a sliver of HP. Rubicon just gotta passively push in 1 lane, maybe 2, but he doesn't quite reach mid in time. Still good pressure being put by the Necrophos to punish this kind of farming behavior from Cobus 9. As Cobus 9 in a bit of a bad spot, gets ran down with the Dark Willow. Necrophos right on top of him as well. Rubicon gets the kill. Bune gets return kill into Furnace. The raise, not quite enough to finish off Kidaro, just one of them missing. Delays Shadowfiend significantly, but oof! Hookshot comes in for the save, making sure SF can get away. Nemiga, they're proving that they're not quite out of this, even if it does cost them Ariel. Earth Spirit disengages over on the bottom lane. You can see that the longer the game keeps going on, the better Ember Spirit is looking compared to the Earth Spirit, right? Because early on, Earth Spirit has been completely escalating. Almost 10k lead, but it's not about the gold lead. It could be 20 or 30k gold lead for all I care. And it won't affect the win rate as much as the Necrophos. Like, just killing the Necrophos is what this game is about.
Incoming!
Roshan is up and available. Though you can see, now that we are kind of approaching this late game scenario, every time that nothing happens, every time that both teams are farming, Nemiga is getting the gold advantage to ever so slowly shrink, right? Like, 1,000 gold has flown back in their pockets, just from kind of chilling, just from kind of spending time in this jungle. Quality time with their pets, I guess. Ariel. Just make sure to keep checking the road pit.
Boom! There it goes!
Never refuse good.
Gives Vision up that high ground. And this is what I mean about Clockwork being one of the best heroes this patch, even if he feels like one of the weakest ones in a fight.
Dire are scanning.
Pango wants to go onto the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit. Yeah, no, the moment that you hear the Reaper Scythe, you know his fate is sealed. Nemiga, though, they could stand to lose more if they're not careful, and they will. SF, can he secure my hopes for game number 3? I don't think so, thanks to that Winter Wyvern ultimate, as he's just gonna have to BKB walk back up the high ground. Necrophos immediately in pursuit, just tanking 3 people, as even the Sheepstick from the Titan will not do a lot to him. BKB instead keeping Necrophos in the team fight, keeping him on top of the Keeper of the Light and the Shadow Fiend and the Tide Hunter. And look at how much damage Tide Hunter is taking from the Necro and the Pangolier, even with the BKB, but finally at least the Pangolier dies. While Necrophos just quickly full heals, keeps Young G off of him. Rubicon though gets jumped to Toke, will make sure to kill Kiraro, get another fishy. Necrophos, however, with his support and the Earth Spirit there, may still want to try to turn this fight around if only he could heal enough to do so, Rubicon. Besides, okay, screw it, Shiva, teleport out. Dark Willow also manages to teleport out in the middle of 2. Necro actually doesn't TP, even though he did have the TP boots, because he did spot Haste Rune that I missed. Very nicely done by him, but look at what he's got queued up. Full-blown Aghanim's Blessing, Rubicon. He's gonna double that damage that he does around him. Massive fucking gold difference, while Roshan torn down next. Ariel killed off by Rubicon. Ariel did get the Roshan lasted there, so he did print his team a lot of money in exchange for trying to steal the Aegis a second time. But that will still not make the Necrophos killable. Necrophos still just gets a double kill, kills everybody just by existing, and walks it off like it's nothing. Again, he's nowhere near as strong as he looks. I can't remind you guys enough. I love Necro. I play him myself, both as a carry and an offlaner. And he feels so weak going into this late game as a carry, because if he does die once, he's gonna fall off and he's never gonna come back from that, right? It's kind of like Muerta, where if you go into the late game and you die once, you're gonna lose so much stacks. so much magic damage that you're just gonna get torn to shreds and go down from there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's
With the
middle
Winter
tower
Wyvern
is
to
falling.
back him up, Necrophos making absolutely sure to tear these barracks to shreds.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
The supports are gonna have to finish the job on the melee Raxes, which will take a little bit longer, but they should be fine doing so.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Or Dual Race comes in and Meteor hammers them. I guess that works too. Ariel, meanwhile, killed off with a Rolling Thunder by Norma. Quite a big commitment for support, but Clockwork, the vision he gives and the split push that he's been putting onto the lanes has been really annoying all the way through, even now that we're in the late game. Tidehunter does have a Ravage, so at the very least the big teamfight initiation for Nemiga can be there. It has to be a really good setup, it has to be a really good initiation.
Dire are scanning.
Rubicon crit through half of his health pool. And Shadow Fiend. Oh, it's so rough, because once again, the moment that we hear the Reaper Scythe, that's what seals his fate. Kidaro will go down, so will Covis 9, though, as Ember Spirit with the BKB doing massive amounts of work. Even Rubicon needs to be careful, being anchored up. But the Necrophos is gonna be able to keep himself alive, and as Necrophos is healing once more, everybody else dies just from the Aghanims. GG's finally in chat, as I think they were a little overdue here. And good game, well played. I don't think Nemiga expected it, because this draft, like both of their drafts, they kind of assumed this was last season's Inner Circle. And Inner Circle, they're definitely a good team, but they are unreliable, especially when dealing with a lot of aggression. Here, though, they end up with a beautiful amount of synergy and played it really, really nicely. So a 2-0 for them as the very first best of 3 of the second season of Masters is going to be settled in Inner Circle's favor. Inner Circle making Necrophos work. And I mean, we've seen games like this a few times at TI, but usually if games go this late against Necrophos, I don't expect Necro to win anymore, but it's not like there was a nullifier. It's not like there was any other reliable silence for the Earth Spirit or anything you can really do against BKBs, because we saw Hotoke blink and Sheepstick onto Rubicon, trying to catch Rubicon unexpected. And